Tupac's murder hasn't been solved in over 20 years, but there's finally some movement in the case and the new details are shocking. Rumors have been flying for years that Diddy was involved with the shooting, and today we're breaking down if he really got away with killing Tupac. Rap fans all know about the legendary war between the East and West Coast, but most people have no idea where it all allegedly started, and the fact that Diddy might have sparked the whole thing just to sell records. Biggie and Pac were homies back in the day. While Biggie was just getting started, Pac already had 2 albums and was taking over the game. They met each other for the first time in LA after Biggie asked a local drug dealer to link him up with Pac, and they became friends off the jump. Tupac was impressed by how real Biggie was and that he really came from the streets and wasn't capping in his music. And Big respected how Pac was tapped in with the Black Panthers and stood up against the police. Biggie started crashing at Pac's place when he was on the West Coast, and when Pac came to New York, he'd bring Big out with him on stage. They recorded a couple tracks together, and at one point, Biggie even asked Pac to be his manager. Big was already rocking with Diddy at the time though, and Pac told him that Diddy would make him a star. According to rumors, Pac wanted Biggie to join his Thug Life crew, but Big made his own lane and started Junior Mafia. Everything was cool between them, but then in November '94, it all fell apart. And this is how it allegedly went down. Pac and Biggie were both supposed to link up with a dude named Lil Sean at Quad Studios in New York. Biggie and Diddy got there before Pac and were already in the studio. And when Pac showed up, he got rushed by 3 dudes in the lobby. They tried to rob him, and when Pac fought back, they started letting off shots and hit him 5 times. Luckily, Tupac survived the shooting, but that was the night that everything changed. Lil Sean was being managed by a notorious street dude named Jimmy Henchman. Biggie knew about Henchman's rep in the city and told Pac he shouldn't get involved with him, but Tupac didn't listen and it ended up getting him shot. Dexter Isaac is a dude who's serving life for a different murder charge right now, and he told XXL magazine that Henchman gave him $2,500 to rob Pac at Quad Studios that night. Even though Biggie was the one who warned him about Henchman, Pac started to believe that Big helped set him up. Right after the shooting went down, Pac ended up going to jail over a sexual assault case. And while he was behind bars, Diddy was allegedly already planning the war. After Pac got locked up, Biggie dropped the track Who Shot Ya and rapped, "Who shot ya? Separate the weak from the obsolete. Hard to creep them Brooklyn streets. It's on, nigga. Fuck all that bickering beef." Rumors started flying that the line was aimed at Tupac over what happened at Quad Studios, and fans thought Big took more shots when he said, "I switches all that, cocksucker, G's up. One false move, get Swiss cheesed up. Clip to tech, respect, I demand it. Slip and break the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not fuck with nor see Papa. Feel 1,000 deaths when I drop you." Biggie called cap on the rumors and said in an interview, the story just completely got switched around. Niggas saying I set him up and I'm the one that got him shot. They're saying that my record Who Shot Ya is about him. Shit is crazy. Big said the track wasn't about Pac at all, but when Pac got out of jail, he said, "Niggas been talking shit all while I was in jail. Even if it ain't about me, nigga, you should be like, I'm not putting it out because he might think it's about him." Biggie didn't want any issues with Pac, but sources claim that Diddy knew exactly what would happen when they dropped Who Shot Ya. He started Bad Boy Records and wanted to take over the whole rap game, and Diddy allegedly wanted Big and Pac to start beefing because he knew the drama would sell more records. At the same time, Suge Knight was running the West Coast with his label Death Row Records. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg were 2 of the hottest rappers in the game, and when he made a deal to bond Tupac out of jail and sign him, it made Death Row the most powerful label in the industry. Suge didn't just want to beef to sell records though. He was a legit street dude who terrified everyone in the game, and after he met Pac in jail, he went to the Source Awards and called Diddy out in front of the whole world. At the end of his acceptance speech for Soundtrack of the Year, Suge clowned Diddy for dancing in his artist videos and told everyone to come to Death Row if they didn't want all that. The shot came out of nowhere, and Big's homie Lil C said,
"I didn't know if him and Puff we didn't know about them having no issues and situations like that. We didn't think nothing of it because while we was there doing rehearsals and things like that, we was actually seeing them, seeing Dad, saying what's up to Dad, seeing Snoop, what up, and you know, everything was all fine. We thinking everything is all love."
But after Suge made his speech, everyone was ready to throw down. Later that night, Dr. Dre went up to accept his Producer of the Year award, and Snoop Dogg was right there with him. The crowd was already tense, and then Snoop grabbed the mic and said, "The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row? Y'all don't love us? Diddy's the one who started everything." But he went on stage and said that he was proud of Death Row and that all of the East versus West drama needed to stop.
"I would like to say that I'm very proud of Dr. Dre, of Death Row, and Suge Knight for their accomplishments. And all this East and West that need to stop."
Later in the night though, Bad Boy Records performed as a crew, and Diddy started their set by saying,
I live in the east, and I'm gonna die in the east.
Diddy allegedly kicked everything off with Who Shot Ya, then Suge took it to the next level at the Source Awards. By the time Pac got out of jail and started rocking with Death Row, he was ready for war and aired out Diddy, Biggie, and the rest of the East Coast with the track Hit 'Em Up. It's one of the craziest diss tracks of all time, and Pac started it off rapping, "First off, fuck your bitch and the clique you claim. West side when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys, niggas fuck for life." Then he dropped a line that allegedly made Diddy put a bag on his head and said, "Plus, Puffy tryna see me, weak hearts I rip. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia, some mark-ass bitches." Pac name-dropped Diddy again later in the track and rapped, "Guard your rank, cause I'ma slap your ass in the paint. Puffy weaker than the fucking block I'm running through, nigga. And I'm smoking Junior Mafia in front of you, nigga." Then he called Biggie out by name and spoke about the shooting too with the line, "Biggie, remember when I used to let you sleep on the couch? And beg a bitch to let you sleep in the house? Now it's all about Versace. You copy my style. 5 shots couldn't drop me. I took it and smiled. Now I'm back to set the record straight. With my AK, I'm still the thug that you love to hate." It was already a savage track, but Pac wasn't finished yet. At the end, he called Bad Boy out again and said, "Fuck Biggie, fuck Bad Boy as a staff, record label, and as a motherfucking crew. And if you wanna be down with Bad Boy, then fuck you too. And you niggas can't feel it, we the realest. Fuck 'em, we Bad Boy killers." According to rumors, Diddy was so pressed about the track that he put a mill on Pac's head over it. It wasn't just rappers and producers involved with the beef though. Both sides had legit street ties, and that's how Pac ended up getting killed. Right after Suge dissed Diddy at the Source Awards, the Death Row and Bad Boy crews ran into each other in Atlanta, and Suge's homie Big Jake was allegedly murdered by one of Diddy's affiliates. Suge came up in Compton and repped a blood set called the Mob Powroos, and they had serious beef with the Southside Crips. According to rumors, Diddy was offering $10K to the Crips for every Death Row chain they snatched. So when some of the Southside Crips caught a few Mob Powroos in Long Beach, they sparked a fight and allegedly snatched a chain off of a Powroo named Trey. One of the Crips who was there during the fight was Orlando Anderson. Anderson was a nephew of a dude named Keefe D, who was one of the most powerful Crips on the East Coast. Keefe was moving weight with the cartels and bringing in over 300 kilos a month through the border, and he's allegedly the one who made a deal with Diddy's homies to take out Pac. 3 weeks after Trey got his chain snatched, he was with Pac, Suge, and some other Death Row guys in Las Vegas for a Mike Tyson fight. After the fight was over, they walked through the lobby, and that's when Trey spotted Orlando Anderson. The whole situation that night was a tragedy, but most people don't realize how sad and pointless it really was. A journalist named William Shaw reported that Anderson was a huge Tupac fan and was probably there in Vegas just to see him. Unfortunately, street politics got in the way though, and Pac walked him down and started swinging. Security broke it up and the Death Row crew left, and that's when Anderson linked up with Keefe and some other Crips and started hunting Pac down. Keefe was facing life in prison over drug charges, but he copped a deal and decided to tell the cops everything about Tupac's murder so he could skate on his drug case. And this is how it went down according to him. After Anderson got jumped by Pac and Death Row, he went to Keefe and some other Crips who were in Vegas with him. They were trying to figure out the next move, and that's when Diddy's homie Zip told him about some guns he had stashed in his whip that they could use. Keefe and the other Crips got the guns from Zip and headed to a club that Suge owned called Club 662. They had 2 whips full of shooters, but while they were waiting at the club for Pac and Suge, a few of them started getting nervous and bailed on the plan. Keefe got in Anderson's whip with 2 other dudes, and that's when they pulled out of the club parking lot and went looking for Pac. They were heading down the Vegas Strip when they saw some women yelling at Tupac, so the Crips pulled a U-turn and rode up next to him. Keefe allegedly passed the gun to the back seat because he didn't have a good angle to shoot, but the dude sitting behind the driver didn't want to take the shot. That's when Anderson allegedly took the gun and started letting off shots while leaning out the window. Pac got hit 4 times and tragically didn't make it. What's crazy about the situation is how much Keefe D has talked about that night. He told DJ Vlad that a couple days later, he linked up with Zip to collect the $1 million that Diddy allegedly put on Pac's head. And while he was there, Diddy called and asked, "Was that us?"
You said that Puffy called and said, "Was that us?" And you didn't say nothing.
I didn't say nothing. Yeah, you're right.
According to Keefe and Zip's old roommate, TK Kirkland, Zip ended up keeping the money for himself and opened up a nightclub with it. Since Keefe and the Crips were never actually paid by Diddy for the shooting, the cops probably can't charge him with murder for hire, but that doesn't mean he won't get wrapped up in the case. For a long time, all of this was basically just rumors. People have always thought Diddy was involved with Pac's murder ever since it happened. Eminem even rapped about it on the track Kill Shot and said, "Kill Shot, I would not fail. I'm with the doc still. But this idiot's boss pop pills and tells him he's got skills. But Kels, the day you put out a hit, the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac killed." Diddy obviously denied being involved. And in an interview with Big Boy TV, Diddy said,
like when we had got hit with Hit 'Em Up, I had to make the call to Biggie, and I said, we not gonna respond. Somebody's gonna get hurt if we respond.
but according to Lil C's,
That's why Big didn't make a record. In the very beginning, Big didn't rush in and make a diss track, and he like, yo, nah. Big told everybody, if you make a record, I'm not fucking with you. Don't call me, don't fuck with me. If you respond to anything, you will be cut off.
now after almost 30 years, Keefe D has officially been booked for Pac's murder. Reggie Wright Jr. used to be the head of security for Death Row, and before any news officially broke, he was already saying,
let's put it this way. I bet Keefe D been having the runs for the last 2 weeks. Because yeah, they are knocking on doors and there's some activity.
According to reports, Keefe probably would have skated on everything if he just kept his mouth shut about that night. But instead, he tried to keep his name alive by doing interviews with anyone who would talk to him. When DJ Vlad brought up a witness claim that could get Keefe jammed up, he freaked out and said they were lying.
I'm not saying it's you. I'm saying that there's 4 people in the car, but they said it wasn't a skinny arm that stuck his hand out the window.
Who the witness?
Can't say.
Okay, they lying.
And you could tell how uncomfortable he was that someone was telling a different side of the story. Gene Deal used to be Diddy's bodyguard when the war with Death Row was going on, and he told the Art of Dialogue,
bruh, I witnessed they did have a relationship. Keefe D, I've seen them on a number of times. They were gambling together, they were drinking together, they had fun, they was hanging out in hotels. Yes, they did have a relationship. That's no ifs, and buts about it. That was before me, that was before Zip. Them two had a relationship, Keefe D and Puff.
So if Diddy wanted Pac out of the picture, it definitely makes sense that he would use Keefe to get the job done. Keefe made a deal with the cops to get out of his drug charges, but none of that matters if they prove that he lied to him. He could be facing life in prison if he's convicted for Pac's murder, but there's a good chance he'll throw anyone under the bus he can to save himself. We don't know for sure if Diddy organized the hit or not, but we do know that he was tight with Keefe D. Keefe already admitted to being involved with Pac's death, but now that he's facing a murder charge, there's no telling what kind of news is going to break in the case. A lot of people think Diddy could go down over the situation too, and 50 Cent hopped on Instagram to clown him over it. He posted a pic of Pac and Suge in the whip together and captioned it, "Damn, so Pac got lined by Brother Love. LOL, time to lawyer up. Shit might get sticky." Then during the middle of a concert, 50 joked with the crowd saying that he needs to stop talking about Diddy and that he's been talking to his therapist to stop saying crazy shit. Then he said, "Maybe I said that shit about Puffy because he got Tupac killed."
Last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? You saw that clip?
Yeah!
I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist trying to help me with the shit I've been saying. Maybe I said that shit about Puffy because he got Tupac killed.
Diddy has been dodging questions about the situation for years. Back in 2016, Charlamagne asked him about it on The Breakfast Club, and Diddy said he wasn't going to speak on it because the rumors were nonsense.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother.
As soon as the topic got brought up, though, you could see how uncomfortable Diddy was. Diddy might be able to avoid questions about Pac's murder in interviews, but if Keefe tells the cops he was involved, he won't be able to dodge the interrogation. Before Keefe was arrested, they raided his house and pulled out a ton of evidence too, so there might be even more linking Diddy to what went down that night in Vegas. New details could break any day in this wild case, so tap in for updates.